What's up, y'all? It's the girl Stacey the Intuitive. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to if you haven't been here before. I really wanted to come and talk about something. As always, we're talking about something today, and this is a very important topic. If you've been watching my videos for the past few weeks or whatever, you know there's been a transition in the collective. There's been some healing having to happen. There's been some uprooting. There's been a lot happening. If you haven't been watching, then you've probably been feeling this. And I've reached another side of it, guys, and it's so important, and I really want to share this with you guys so that you guys can take this with you. If you are reading the title, then this might resonate with you. You know, a lot of us have went through really hard times. Regardless, that's just the basis of it. Doesn't matter what the nature of the hard time or whatever have you, we've went through hard times, right? And it's been really hard to navigate these energies. It's been hard to find the perspective that fits, that helps us through, when also being faced with having to look at the truth for what it is. For me, this played out, you know, I went through a little bit of heartbreak, okay? And I'm no stranger to heartbreak, you know, on whatever side of the spectrum. I've been through that type of thing before. I've experienced pain before, but this time it really hit me in an interesting way because I, for the first time ever in my entire life, started to see through the eyes of pain rather than through my typical lens of love and compassion and understanding and learning. I was starting to see not only the circumstance, but my world through the lens of pain, like so many people do. I think that one of my biggest strengths in this world is my ability to not see through the eyes of pain, is my ability to see through the eyes of love, through compassion, through understanding, always. And so, through grace. But so when I found myself in this state, I was constantly praying to God, like, I just really want to get out of this. This is really tough. Like, I don't know, you know, this is really tough. I would emphasize how this had been much tougher than the trials that I had been through in my past. And I was like, God, please help me out of this. And honestly, although I have total faith and trust in God, it was hard to see the other side. It was hard to see that I would get myself out of this. This video might be geared a lot towards people who are specifically experiencing heartbreak, but it can be for really anyone. I just want to preface that. But this will be really helpful for anyone seeing through the eyes of heartbreak, but anyone also who's unaware of their living through that lens, right? For me, I have always been a person that I don't agree with people who try to spew their mindsets, you know, when they are clearly coming from a place of pain. I don't like when people try to make that a widespread idea. This specifically happens on TikTok. There are a lot of dating coaches, specifically men, who think that they're putting women onto game and stuff like that, but they see through the eyes of pain. And you know what's interesting too is that while I was going through this, there was a period in time where I started to like listen to what these guys were saying, like, you know, like they make you feel just bad about you. They see through the eyes of pain. I don't want to go into what they do, but they see through the eyes of pain. That's how they analyze situations. That's how they see you. And they see people as people who want to hurt you. They see people as bad. They see people as manipulative and clever and cunning, when this is actually not always the case. Most people are not as clever as you think. I just want to put that out there. This has been a huge message lately. We'll talk about that in another video, but most people are not as clever or cunning as you think. Most people are avoiding their own pain. Most people are unaware of how their pain has been so deeply embedded to their being, and it influences the way that they act. And I never want to be a person who sees through the eyes of pain, sees others through the eyes of pain, where I can't offer them understanding and grace and love, and, you know, because that's not who I am. And I, you know, last night was so interesting for me because I had this epiphany last night, and I literally just like, I woke up like late night and I was up, and then, you know, I said this prayer because again, like this energy was coming through. I said this prayer. I was like, you know, God, like, please make me aware of like how I can get past this roadblock because it's really impacting me. And moments later, this doesn't always happen like this. Sometimes it's days, but this has been a persistent prayer. But moments later, God literally put this message on my heart. It's like, you've been seeing this through the lens of pain. And when I say through the lens of pain, it's you see through the lens of how someone hurt you. You see through the lens of that person being a person who causes hurt. You see yourself as a person in pain. And through this last season that I went through, a big part of, you know, the way I showed up was in really owning this ability to see people through the eyes of love and compassion and understanding. So honestly, when I went through this most recent phase of like heartbreak, I not only felt like I had lost something in that situation, but more importantly, like I had lost a part of myself that I hold near and dear, and that I couldn't really see the value in that. So I couldn't really pull her back in. And anytime that side of me would try to come through, it would really be undercut by these like painful, harsh truths that I wanted to call them when they're so far from it. And you know what I really need to put out there to you guys is that most of the time, this is from a love lens, but it can be through anything, but the people who have caused you pain are usually have those the circumstances that have caused you pain have most of the time been in the exact position where you are. I just want to say that most of the time, those circumstances, those people who have caused you pain have been in the exact position that you are in the pain that you are experiencing. And from the place that you are in right now, they have learned to navigate from the place of pain that has been caused by that, rather than coming from a place of love, understanding, healing, opening your heart. So that's when you get all these people who are creating these universal beliefs about how people move. And they are thinking about it from this toxic masculine mindset, is what I've realized, that it really lacks the feminine, nurturing, understanding, receptivity. It harps on this very toxic, extreme version of masculinity. Powering off. Sorry, that was the powering off though. That's such an important message. That was the speaker. But this extreme version of masculinity that cuts off emotions, that cuts off empathy and understanding, that sees people in their movements as calculated, which can be true, but that is never the only side of the coin. These people had to find a reason to get where they have become, right? And if we ignore that side, that is to ignore a significant portion of the experience. If we ignore the unfoldment of a person's story, the emotional side, then we allow ourselves to step into that same place. And it is through them seeing through the eyes of pain rather than seeing themselves as the very humans who deserve understanding and care and compassion that they get to that place. And that they tell us to view from that same lens so that we don't get hurt. But the only thing that's going to get us hurt is our inability to understand where we were hurt in the first place and where other people have been hurt in the first place and why they may get there. And that is not to say give people a free pass. The biggest thing that we need to learn from these circumstances is discernment and boundaries, and to how to not let people's pain get in the way of ours, but also how to not see people with the, kind of like absolving of their pain, the forgetting of their pain, the neglect of their pain and what they hold and what they carry day to day. I really hope that this is hitting, because rather than like me just trying to tell you guys how to be, I want you to understand the ins and outs of what you're experiencing. Like, I really want to harp on this because I've been wanting to talk about this topic as it relates to these like creators on TikTok and YouTube, and mostly TikTok, these men specifically that like talk about like, oh, like these men just think that you're stupid and that they can play with you. Okay, sure. That can be the surface level of understanding. But what about what really gets these people to act like this? It's their pain. And you coming into their life and daring to love a person who is so deeply embedded in their pain, enveloped in the darkness of their pain. How are they going to act towards you? They're going to act towards you to the exact way that they've treated that version of themselves who went through that pain. This is not all about love though, guys. I need you to understand how important it is to not lose your heart, your feminine energy, your ability to nurture and bring understanding, and to see the whole story, and to have empathy and compassion for people. That is the only thing that is going to actually get you through this life, I personally believe, is if you are able to see truth. And you are not experiencing truth if you are seeing from a single lens, this toxic masculine lens that harps on this energy, that prioritizes this energy of like being strategic and cunning and tactful, rather than the other ends of it. A lot of these people are suppressing and ignoring their own pain, and you will become that very thing if you allow yourself to see people through that same lens that these people who are so deeply enveloped in their pain experience the world. So for me, when I had that, I had this huge release of just pain that I had been holding on to, because the way I had been seeing the situation, it just like, I was navigating, I'm like, oh my God, I'm just feeling really hurt. Like maybe I would have a really good day or something, or maybe I would see maybe that side of me that sees through compassion of like, okay, like maybe this wasn't so terrible or whatever have you. That side of me would try to come through, and then I immediately go towards like crutching and holding on to this pain. And I couldn't live like that. I was like, this is not how I can live. This is not a way of living for me, to look at this situation and to be carrying around this pain. And the only way that you're going to transmute and heal that pain is to forgive and learn. And what I mean by forgiving is not, you don't have to go and do anything, but what I think by forgiving, for me, what I'm beginning to understand about forgiving is that it's daring to see someone through the eyes of humanity, compassion, empathy, and understanding. Just daring to try. Just daring to try to see them through that lens. The moment that you try, the moment you can grasp this understanding of, okay, this is a human who has experienced pain too, and I can acknowledge the pain that I feel that I've been caused, but I also can acknowledge its origins, and that those origins have originated from outside of me, and that the origins within me come from this deep-seated pain that I've been holding on to of my own accord, and that me and this person are not much different in the end. Me and this person are not much different in the end, and that person maybe chose to take a path because it was easier, or that's the one that was presented, or they didn't know, and that should even give me more compassion. And even for me, seeing myself not know a way out, and I'm so blessed to be walking this path where I have those understandings and things. If I couldn't see my way out, I don't know how I would make it through this energy if I couldn't see my way out in this way, because I was holding on to this pain. It was really causing like a dark cloud over my life. Even though there's so many great things happening for me, I'm feeling good, I'm like treating myself so well, there would be moments where I would just like come down into this like pain. And I don't want to see through the eyes of pain. I want to see people through the eyes of love, compassion, understanding, because everybody deserves that. And most of the time it's because people didn't see them through that lens, that they have gained these demeanors that make them feel unworthy, that make you see them as unworthy or, evil or whatever have you. I'm talking in the lens of love, but I want to reiterate so importantly that this applies everywhere. A lot of you are seeing life through the eyes of pain. Hard things always happen to you. Nothing ever works out for you, rather than seeing yourself through the eyes of compassion and understanding that there are things that have got you to be here, and you deserve to have those feelings validated. You deserve to experience something different. You deserve to give yourself just the leap of faith to even believe, to believe a different belief, to conjure a different reality, right? To not carry that pain around. A lot of people are seeing their lives through the lens of pain, and I'm telling you, like, after, I think God had to put me in this energy where I could actually get this perspective, because for me in the past, like I said, I had a very pure perspective I saw, and I want to maintain that purity by healing this negative, spatter that could be put all over this. But I think God had to put me in this energy where I could see through the eyes of pain, so that I could appreciate my ability to see through the eyes of love, and that when I am approached with a person or a circumstance in any case going forward, that I'm not quick to judge, that I'm not quick to label this person, and I see them through the eyes of humanity. A lot of people at this stage in the collective are talking about humanity, but they don't even know what it means to exert these basic notions of humanity. It goes deeper than just being kind to people. It means to see people as humans who have real life experiences that impact them in deep ways that sometimes they don't know how to get through. Sometimes they don't know how to navigate, just like you. And the only way that we get through that is through support, whether that be that you connect to God, or whether that be that you connect to other people that have certain mindsets that are going to support you to where you need to get. I am blessed enough, I connect to God, and God connects me to other people that give me insights and things that support my own insights. So I think this is so important. It's so easy to see people as through these transactional lenses of that, this, or black and white, this is this and this is that, or this is what I've got from this person, this is what I've understood, and this is the understanding I'm going to carry with me. It's so easy to see people that way, through this black and white lens, through this lens of just like, I want to say transactional, but that doesn't feel like the right word. But it's so easy to see people singularly, dimensionally. It's even harder to start to understand the complexities of people and their experiences, and give them that benefit of doubt, not in allowing them access to your life, but in the way that you perceive them, in the way that you perceive the world. It is not a bad life. Everyone is not bad. We all have things. You have things. You know, there were times in my life where I thought everything bad was happening, but I don't think that I was kind or understanding or loving enough with myself. I didn't see through the lens of needing to learn and not being perfect, and, you know, or understanding the perfection of the world and its unfoldment. I didn't see through that lens always, but one of the biggest blessings I have is now I do see the world through that lens, and I don't see it as black and white, and I value lessons on my path, and I value duality and contradiction. I just want y'all, like, even if you take nothing from this, just consider the fact that you might be seeing the world through eyes of pain. Pain that you're holding on to for dear life, because to hold on to that pain feels like it's going to keep you safe. But the truth of the matter is what I found is that the vulnerability, the being willing to go there, the being willing to see the world through the eyes of love, through vulnerability, is the very thing that's going to protect you. It's not going to be hardening yourself and seeing people through the eyes of pain and in fear and thinking that they're going to hurt you. That's going to make your life miserable. A lot of people, what I've learned through this time, are walking around through life feeling deep sadness, and they might have moments of happiness, you know, like I have, even in my positions at times, been like, oh my God, these people are just so happy. You know, I, for the past few months, have presented and looked like probably I was like one of the happiest people, and I did have such happy and deep healing moments. But up until this point, I have had moments where my grasp on things was wobbly and shaky. I've just had a day at work, or a good day or whatever, and then I'm driving and I have this pain come through because I've been holding on to it. And those very things, I think those understandings, those moments of humanity, are the very things that can better get us to see through the eyes of love. And maybe you're gonna watch this and be like, I don't experience that, whatever. Then this is not for you. Then you probably never were gonna see through the lens that I see things through, and you're not gonna understand this. And you know, that's your path to walk. I respect that. I doubt you even made it to this point in the video though. Anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I just want to put that out there. A lot of people are seeing things through the eyes of pain, guys. Don't take that on. If you are in your season right now and you have just experienced some pain in whatever capacity, you need to do everything you can to see through the eyes of love, to see other people through the eyes of love. If it's not about other people, to now see yourself through the eyes of love and compassion and understanding, and to open your heart again to your own purity, because you deserve to have that and to hold that. You do not deserve to hold on to pain and make it a part of your being, okay? I hope this resonates. I hope this hits for someone, okay? I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.